Sam from Unlearn. Today we're here with Mario Ross at the Richmond Hill Budokan, and we are going to interview him about his life and learn a bit more about him. Mario lost his sight fully at age 21, and despite this life-changing circumstance, he's still managed to live his life to the fullest, living a super active lifestyle. Can you tell us a bit about yourself, Mario?
Thank you, Samantha. Like Samantha said, my name is Mario Ross. 65 years old. I got 2 children and 2 great-grandchildren. I live my life as normal as anybody else. Just because I have visual impairment doesn't mean it stops me from doing anything. I play hockey for a blind hockey team, and I also take Jiu-Jitsu at the Richmond Hill Budokan. I do everything around the house, in regards to chores. I do stuff outside, in cleaning snow when it snows in the winter. Basically, I'll do anything that I possibly can. If I can't do it, I won't do it, but at least I tried.
As I mentioned, we're here at the dojo today, so could you tell us a bit about what the dojo means to you? You've been coming here for a long time now, so it's obviously an important place in your life.
Well, I've been coming to the dojo for about 30 years now. Dojo gives me a place of enjoyment, a stress reliever, a motivational reliever, hanging around with people that have positive attitude, and be able to show them that being around a visually impaired person is just the same as being around someone that's sighted. It gives me also a lot of satisfaction that I'm able to do it. Like being a visually impaired person, you think martial arts would be hard to do. It's actually not that hard. Yes, there is a little bit of adaptation. You have to be getting adapted. The instructor has to show you the technique, a little bit different comparison to someone seeing it. He has to try it on you. So
as you mentioned, you've been coming here for quite a long time now, so I'm sure you've built quite the community and group of friends here. Could you tell us a bit more about how Jiu-Jitsu is different for you being visually impaired, and how your other senses have been heightened through that?
Well, your sight is very important, as you know, because you walk, you see what's in front of you before you even get there. When you lose your sight, your other senses, your hearing, your taste, your smell, and your touch is opened up. Being blind, you just get adapted to your environment, to where you are. You get adapted to working out with someone. Jiu-Jitsu is great. It's because it's all close contact. It's all self-defense, touching. You come near me, you grab me, I can put you into a lock, I can throw you, do whatever. If you throw a punch, and I'll be honest with you, you throw a punch, I don't see it coming. I'll get hit, but it's, as soon as I get hit, I know where it is, depending on how hard you hit the punch, sort of thing.
And so I'd like to know, what is your proudest moment or accomplishment in life?
Well, my proudest moment was getting married to my wife that's no longer here. She took me for who I was in regards to being visually impaired. She didn't see the blindness. She saw the person behind the blindness, the individual and the character and all that. My black belts, I have a black belt in Kempo Karate, and I have a third-degree black belt in Jiu-Jitsu Karate. Playing hockey is another accomplishment that I always wanted to do. I always wanted to play. When I turned blind, I told my parents I heard about the Toronto Ice Halls, and I got into it. I started playing, and anything I try to do, I try to accomplish what I try to think to doing different things, working out, doing this and that. Be able to wake up in the morning is an accomplishment right there.
Yeah, of course. That's amazing that you've been so active and been so open to trying so many different things. Talking about your wife, you mentioned off camera a scenario where you had to call 911 and how they weren't quite understanding your vision. So could you tell us a bit more about that story?
It was in 2014, August 4th. We were driving home from the cottage on the 400. We had to pull over because she wasn't feeling well. She came on my side of the car because I was the passenger, of course. I wasn't driving because they won't let me drive. They won't give me a license because I'm visually impaired. What's that matter? But yeah, she sat on my side. I was standing outside, and she took a shot of her puffer because she was asthmatic. And after that, she told me to call 911, and she passed out. I got on the phone with 911 at that time. I told them my situation, that we're on the 400. They were asking me where I was, and I told them I was, a little bit after King City. I told them more than once that I was visually impaired. They were asking me questions in respect to her, vitals, how she looked, her eyes, whatever. I can't say they may have heard, but I think they were more concerned in respect to my wife, the condition. So they didn't really pick up that I was visually impaired. Finally, a tow truck driver came by, stopped, thinking that something was wrong with the car, and I said, no, something's wrong with my wife. And then he called it in, gave him the proper location, and then the fire truck and the ambulance came in. I couldn't do CPR on her because the way she was sitting in the car, my leg was in between her two legs. If I moved, she would have slid right off the car. And I've never hit a woman in my life. I never will hit a woman in my life. I just tapped her like that slightly just to see if any reaction. No reaction. I knew there was, and her breathing was very labor.
That must have been a really scary situation, and I can't imagine being in that area as well. It's already a super busy area. I can imagine how stressful that was.
Yes.
Do you think that emergency services need to have better training in regards to disabilities and visual impairments, or do you think it was more so due to the high stress situation?
I think it's a twofold. Yes, they need more training in regards to people with disabilities. I totally realize that their job is extremely, extremely stressful. It's a high burnt out type of position. Anybody that goes through a training in any company needs to be retrained at least once a year, just to pick up little things that you've forgotten and whatnot. Their hearing skills probably need a little bit more, but I'm not blaming 911 at all. Don't get me wrong. 911 did what they needed to do. It's something that happens. Life throws you zingers and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, exactly. As you mentioned, I can't imagine how stressful those positions are, and everyone needs a support system, and like we've discussed, not all disabilities are necessarily physical. So yeah, you make a great point there. What are some biases that you think the general public needs to unlearn about those who are visually impaired?
Well, the biggest thing they need to unlearn is don't look at a person that has a disability that they're different. Anybody that has a disability, I don't care what it is, they're all equal. We're all equal. Like I said, everybody in this world has a disability. I don't care who it is. Some of it is noticeable, some of it it's not. So you just deal with what you have. Don't be scared to go up to someone that has a disability or a wheelchair, because you start talking to them, they'll be the best person that you ever talk to them. I'll give you an example. Like a friend of mine many years ago, my wife's old boss, his wife had cancer. They were in a restaurant. This one lady was looking at her, just gawking on her because she was going through treatments, whatever. I think she was wearing a wig or whatever. He got off his chair because he noticed, and went up to her and said, "What are you looking at?" "My wife's got cancer." Just embarrassed her like anything. And I know people look at me because my visual impairment is noticeable. My left eye is all white. So, of course, it's noticeable. But I sense people looking at me. What? You know, I got a visual impairment. Whoopee.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like you can feel it. You
Yes.
know, you kind of feel people having their eyes on you.
Exactly.
What motivates you, and what would you say to those struggling with motivation? Because obviously, as we've discussed, you've had some challenges in your life.
What motivates me? Life motivates me. Being around people, positive people, coming to the dojo, going play hockey, my grandkids, anything, just opening your eyes and be able to see what's out there, what we have, and what we should be happy and that we're alive, basically, you know. But exercise and coming to Jiu-Jitsu really motivates me because I enjoy it. I come out of here, I pay for pain, but I come out of here with a smile on my face.
That's great to hear. And it sounds like you surround yourself with a lot of positive people who share interests and you like to keep busy.
We try. You're going to get people that are negative out there, but people who are negative, you try to turn them around to become positive.
People who are negative need people like that, so that's great.
Yeah.
Are there any sports or experiences that you'd still like to try, like you haven't yet had the chance to?
Well, I want to take up golf because it's almost like hockey. Golf, for a visually impaired person, you need someone that's sighted to help you basically line up the ball. You hit the ball and you try to get it on the green. Your guide, your visual individual, will go to the hole and either tap it or they have a little contraction that makes a noise telling you where the hole is, and then you have to putt it.
Okay, that's interesting. And you mentioned, of course, Jiu-Jitsu and hockey earlier. Could you explain to those who aren't familiar, how exactly does that work and what position do you play?
Okay, I play goalie, the dummy. Playing goalie is the stupidest position you want to play because you're going to get hit all the time. And the biggest part, you're going to get hit in the head. So that's why I'm not too smart. But yeah, I play hockey. It's called the Toronto Ice Owls. We have an adapted puck. It's a puck that's made out of metal. It's got like pins in it that rattles. The nets are slightly different than your regular nets. A regular net is 4 feet high by 6 feet wide. A blind net is 3 feet by 6. And the reason they cut it down a foot is to help out the goalie, because when the puck is raised off the ice, the sound is no longer there. The goalies that are playing, that play in blind hockey are usually typically total goalie that can't see anything, so they can't see where the puck's coming from. Mm-hmm. So basically they have to follow it when it's on the ice. Like I said, when it's off the ice, it's just pray to God the puck hits you, or you move to be able to puck hit you.
Right. Would you say you're a pretty good goalie, or?
No, I'm not a good goalie.
Did you pick that position, or were you assigned that position?
Took up that position because I wanted to. I was originally, when I started playing hockey for the blind hockey team, I was playing defense.
Okay. Which do you prefer, goalie or defense?
I prefer goalie.
Okay. That's a bold position to take.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the dummy position. The goalie has to put in a lot of work.
Yeah, well, the dummy position, because you're getting hit everywhere and you're getting hit a lot. You know, I'm not going to tell a blind goalie you're not going to get hit in the head with a puck.
Right.
That'd be the stupidest thing to say.
So, who is your inspiration? I'm sure there are many. If you could tell us about one in particular, or a few. There's
a few for martial arts. What got me going was The Karate Kid when I watched that with the family. Bruce Lee, of course. Then I have Sensei Doug Jr., Sensei Doug Sr. They're inspirations to me. For hockey, and Johnny Bauer, that used to play goalie for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that's why I turned around and played goalie, because of him. Anybody in the dojo is inspiration to me. You know, anybody. I see people that have disabilities. Go back to hockey. There's amputee hockey. These guys play when they have no legs, no arms, so they have artificial legs. So they go on the ice and play like normal. It blows me away. They have deaf hockey where they can't hear the puck, but they can see it, but they have lights around to be able to indicate, an offside, whatever. There's all different types of sports up there that we don't know about. Like they even have blind tennis or blind soccer. Like there's a lot of sports out there that people don't realize that anybody that has a disability can do it.
Yeah, there's sports can be adapted for any kind of person, and
Exactly.
it should be.
Exactly.
You began losing your vision when you were very young, and you went through a lot of major eye surgeries, is that right?
Yes.
And so if you could go back in time and receive a treatment that would allow you to be fully sighted, what would you do and how would you make that decision?
Making a decision like that would be hard for me because I've lived, like I said, I turned blind at my 21st birthday and I'm 66, so I've been blind, I've been blind like 44 years in comparison to sighted. Making a decision like that, I would have to sit down with, one, with my family, two is sitting down with the doctor and asking the pros and cons. The biggest con would be if I have to give up what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
My sports, my activities, because of impact or whatever that may cause some, that may cause my eyes to go back to where I was blind again. I don't want to stop what I'm doing. I enjoy it too much. It's too much a part of my life. That's about it.
Yeah, for sure. You've been a part of this community for a long time. You've done sports a different way, and there's so many different aspects of your life that would change if you were sighted. So I understand that would be definitely a huge decision to make.
Yes.
I would like to ask you what Unlearn means to you.
Unlearn, one, I love the name. It gives the opportunity for people that are out there to not change their mind, but open their mind to other ideas, other thoughts that they may not have thought of, and rethink what they have and be able to redo, change their lifestyle, change their way of thinking. And that's not pushing anything down their throat. Just putting a seed in your mind, letting you think, expand on what you have. Life is an expansion. You got to keep your mind open. You got to keep your mind focused. Anything can change in a split minute. So just keep on thinking positive and keep an open mind, because you never know what you're thinking now about that could be totally different, and it'll open a different door for you.
Definitely. I think a great saying is knowledge is power. I would say that Unlearn kind of lives by that. They're, trying to educate people on really important issues and things going on in the world, and it's our responsibility to, take action and learn about those things that we care about. And Unlearn is a really great company because they're all about all positive things, right?
Exactly. Love the name. Love the name.
Yeah, it's a great name. So the next question I have for you, Mario, is I'd like you to tell me what you think the most interesting thing about yourself is.
Most interesting thing. I guess the most interesting thing is that I love life and I love people. And I look at people like there's no disability in anybody. Everybody's equal, and I just enjoy their company, enjoy their thoughts, the conversation I have with them. Just open-minded. My philosophy, be open-minded, be open to talk to anybody. And be honest with you, you're not going to be friends with everybody that you meet. you know, you're not, because there's some compatibilities you may not have or whatever, but at least try. If you can't, you can't. If you can't, c'est la vie. But it doesn't mean that you've done anything wrong. No, nothing's ever done wrong. Everything is there for a purpose in life.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone comes into your life for a different reason, and everyone brings something different to the table. And I couldn't agree more with you. My dad has told me this quote before that he heard from a woman he used to work with, that people are endlessly amusing, and I really love that quote.
And the thing is, if you look at your life, from growing up from when you were a kid to when you're an adult, how many people have gone through your life? How many people are still in your life from when you started?
Exactly.
Very, very few.
Yeah. You meet so many people along the way, and not everyone's going to be there forever.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, that is all I have to ask you today. I just want to thank you so much for your time and welcoming us into the dojo. It was great to hear more about your life, and really appreciate you taking the time today.
Samantha, thank you so much. I thank Unlearn for doing this, and hopefully you like it and I can help somebody out there. That's all I'm looking for, is to help. We're all here to work with each other and help each other out.
Exactly, yeah. Thanks so much again.
Thank you, Samantha.